G'day guys, my name is Trent, aka LaxLime, bringing you a Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle. Today we have a PGL battle against the Atlanta Bravebirds, also known as True, who is the head coach of the team. His link will be in the description below. His draft is a really good draft. I do like it. However, he does have some very, very obvious weaknesses, which is he's got a really big weakness to Bug and Ghost. So I've actually capitalized on that by using my Scarf Levani, which has Shadow Call and X-Scissor, and it does about 80% to pretty much his whole team. So I've just got to dwindle him down, pull it in, and just annihilate his team. That was the plan. I sort of built it around that. So we will get into the battle and see how we go. So I actually make the call to lead off with my Jirachi here, as he actually goes into his Ambipalm. Look, I totally knew that the Fake Out was coming here, so like there was not really a big deal or whatever. I just sort of had to take that. From here, like, I sort of also knew that the knockoff was coming, but I didn't want anything else to lose its item, so I had to stay in with Jirachi, and I know that it's going to hurt, but I thought that was sort of my best play, because if I went out to anything else and I got knocked off, I really needed, like, the Choice Band and the Choice Scarf on a lot of my Mons and the items they did have, so I really just had to sort of sacrifice Jirachi at this point. I did quite a bit of damage with the Drain Punch, but it's not enough, like, in recovery damage back to me to sort of survive the next knockoff. So I end up going down, so that's like 3 turns in, and I'm not in a really good position at all. From here, I will actually just go into my Staraptor, because, like, Staraptor just annihilates pretty much everything if I just click Brave Bird, and that's, you know, pretty much exactly what I'm gonna do. I know, like, Rotom is the only thing that really resists it, but it still does, like, a decent chunk, like, you know, like, 20% on a Rotom that's physically defensive is still 20% on a Rotom that's physically defensive. I have to switch out here. Obviously, I'm not going to stick around and take the next attack, because I need Staraptor pretty much for that Venusaur that's sitting in the back. So I decided to go into Duralgi. Well, I can never bloody say it. This guy, I fortunately missed the Hydro Pump, which is good, but it really probably wouldn't have done too much to me. He does go for the Pain Split. Like, yeah, that does nothing. He probably thought I was going to outspeed, but I think I'm negative nature on this thing. And I only go for the Sludge Wave, and that does so much damage. It does so much damage. Now, like, I really, really think this is an underappreciated Pokemon, because, like, if you, like, it's ridiculous. The good thing about him outspeeding me is when he goes for this Volt Switch, he's got to switch into something that's going to take a Sludge Wave. The Sludge Wave just, like, really hurts everything. He does go into his Venusaur, and it is it's not resisted, so this still does a hell of a lot of damage. So the whatever this thing's called, man, tongue-tied, like, is just really hurting his team. So Latias actually comes in here, and it's just decimated by it. I know that was a crit. I don't know if it really mattered, but it would have put it down in the 80% range, so it probably in the long run really wouldn't have mattered. So he's pretty much just knocked out 3 of his Pokemon, really put in a lot of work for 3 of his Pokemon just to put me in a really good position. He does go the Stone Edge here, and, like, yeah, he's got pitiful defenses, so he ain't going to survive that, and he does go down, but he's done a good job. He's done a really, really good job. Now, I bring in Keldeo. I can easily just go for a Surf. That's going to do a decent amount of damage to everything, like, everything's sort of at a low range, or reasonably low for it to put in some work. Oh, I didn't go for the Surf. I went for the Sacred Sword. Yeah, I don't know. Why? Oh, I think it's because the Ambipalm was going to come in. I don't know. Yeah, so he brings that in. Obviously, the Fake Out is coming my way, which is fine. But I decided to keep Keldeo around for later, and I just go into my Entei. This is actually a fully defensive Entei, full HP and everything. So it should be able to take this fairly well. And then on the next turn, I can easily just go for a Hidden Power Grass, because I was predicting the Rotom to come in, and that's going to do a decent chunk to the Rotom. And, you know, it kills it. It's pretty low. I probably could have killed it with any other move that I had, but Hidden Power Grass pretty much just made sure that I wouldn't be able to take it out. He does go into Kazooie after here, and like, I can't really stay in against an Aerodactyl. It ain't going to work. So I have to switch out. Aside, Keldeo is probably my best option. I should be able to, like, at least take 1 attack and hopefully retaliate from there. That doesnit do too much, so I was happy about that. And this is also Life Orb, so I was actually really scared of who the Scarfer was on this team, because that, like, Yeah. The Scarfer, if he had something scarfed on his team, it pretty much ruined me. So I had to be really careful and play around who I thought was scarfed. And at this point in time, I really thought that Victini was the scarfed one. And especially by the way that he switched it in there. I know the Fusion Bolt, or whatever it's called, is coming my way. So I decided to go on Entei, and thinking that he's probably going to be able to take this, you know, reasonably well. But he really doesn't. He really doesn't. That's like max defense, max HP. And it still did like half. I do get the paralyzed, which was like, oh man, are you kidding me? However, I Void on the next turn, so it sort of worked out really in the long run. I just go the Shadow Ball because that's the most super effective hit that I can do to it. And he decides to switch out. Like, I really thought that the Victini was scarfed at this point, so I was really careful about that. I get the paralyzed. I don't want to switch anything else in to take unnecessary damage, but he ends up actually going for the Stealth Rocks on this turn, which will, it will actually dwindle me down again as I get paralyzed again. So that's 2 paralyzed, I think it was nearly 3. But he does miss the Stone Edge, sort of makes up for it as I just go for the Flamethrower. So, like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have picked Flamethrower. I don't know why I did. Like, I hidden Power Grasp, man. No, I don't know. I don't know what I had. Shadow Ball probably would have done the most damage, but, you know, whatever. I do go onto Levani here, and I can just easily go for a Leaf Blade. However, I kind of chickened out here. I was totally going to go for the knockoff, but I was worried if it didn't kill it, I'd get owned by an Aerial Ace. So I ended up going for the Leaf Blade, but if I went for the knockoff, that would have been the best, because if this thing was scarfed, I wouldn't have a problem. But, you know, that happens. That happens. I can go into Keldeo here, hope that he goes for, you know, a Fire move, because that's his safest move, and then be able to sort of survive that and then retaliate with a Surf. So that was my plan. I also knew that in the background, the Levani pretty much just like will be able to wreck his team if I play really carefully, but I actually end up going down to the V-Create from the Victini, but it's like 140 base, so I can understand that. I come in here, I pretty much just got to go for the Brave Bird, hit anything that's sort of remaining on his team. So I don't think he's like, he ain't going to survive that, and there's no way. Staravia is just boss. It just really is boss. It puts in so much work, and the offensive pressure that it gives is just ridiculous. I pretty much like have to take the Stone Edge. I know like Staravia will put in a lot of work, however, Vani was sort of my win condition at this point, so I had to keep it really safe and make that call. So I know I'm going to outspeed because I'm scarfed. I know he's life orbed, so I can easily just go for the Leaf Blade and be able to take this thing out, which means that I also take the game. So it turned out to be a 1-0 victory. However, it's still a good 1-0 victory. It was a close game. There was a lot of hacks and a lot of paybacks and everything, but I still think it was sort of fair in the long run. So that was another game. That's 2 wins in a row now, so I'm pretty happy about that. That would put me up in the top of my conference. So I'm sort of, yeah, it's good. It's good work. That's what we need, you know? Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you would like to check out everyone else's channel, it will be in the link below. You do. It's a good idea. Yeah, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please, you know, stick around for next time, and I will catch you then.